Hey guys, it's Ralph Greenwood here, and tonight on the Car Barn we're going to do removing roof walks. Now, roof walks on box cars and cars that did not have access hatches on top. Okay, that's our subject. Now, I looked through some forums, and then I looked at a few websites that had articles from the Federal Railroad Administration. And then it also had things from the Interstate Commerce Commission, which the authority of that commission was abolished over the railroads was abolished in 1955, and I believe it was the Federal Railroad Administration that took over. I'm not really sure about that. But there was a mandate, I believe it was the Federal Railroad Administration. They mandated that to the manufacturers of railroad cars that any car that was manufactured, and I believe it was after April or October of the year was 1966. By 1966, any railroad car that was manufactured and sent out or sold to the railroad could not have a roof walk on it. This was with the exception of cars that would have hatches on top, like this hopper car here. I can tell you from my own personal experience, I know what I saw. I saw railroad cars in the 70s and well into the 80s that still had roof walks on them. And I know there were exceptions. Like one of them was your maintenance of way cars. Another one was like if that railroad car was not interchanged with any other railroad. I don't know how long that lasted, but so. And on the layout that I'm modeling, I am modeling 1968 onto the 80s. So I plan to remove some of them, and we're going to do some tonight. But I'm going with what I saw, okay? If you want to go and look into government, into these federal administrations' files and find the exact paragraph where this was said, be my guest, but I'm not messing with it. So I'm going to pick out a car here and we're going to remove some roof walks. Okay, here we go. This right here. This has, let's see, it has one. We're going to see if this will just pry out of here. A lot of them will. It's coming. There we go. Wait a minute, it's got two in the middle. Okay, there we go. And then you're going to have these holes that look like this. Okay, I have one that busted off there. Okay, might be able to just file that down. we will take and remove the, okay. I set this little block of wood there so I'm not setting this thing on the ladders. Okay, and you want to get your work to where it's good and solid. It's not jumping around on you. I've got a flat file here. This is just a little bit at a time here. Now, there's these mounts on the end. Okay. I don't believe that's what those are. I'm just going to leave those there because a lot of times the railroads took those off and they just left those mounts there. I'm just very gently filing. Okay. When you file plastic like this, you want to have a little wire brush like that. Okay. Now the problem is you're going to have this to repaint. And I will match this paint. Now if you're going to repaint it anyway, which I could repaint this top a different color and just say, hey, that went to the shop and they redid the roof on it. There's another option. You can hardly see them when you look at them. Clean out the file. Okay, now I think okay. We'll just take and brush all these off. Let you guys have a look at that. Okay, now we're going to need some modeling putty. Okay. All right. Now I've got a piece of spring steel here. You could use any flat, you know, as long as you have something flat to work with to get your putty down where you need it. You know, you're gonna kind of, okay. Let's see how good this stuff is. I've used testers before. You always have a little rag around for cleanup. All right. Now, when you first open up testers, okay, sometimes there's like a liquid that comes out of there. All right, get your putty out here. Right there is what we're going to need. There, you wiped out all off. Put your cap back on. Now we got our little putty here. You take and mix it up. Okay. Now I'm gonna clean this off. I'm gonna take this and just grab a little bit. But basically I got these filled. Okay. We're gonna let that dry. Then we'll come back, we'll sand it up, and we'll either match some paint, we'll do some weathering, who knows? Who knows what we'll do. Now, what happened was, excuse me, I had to put more putty on here because the putty that I put in those holes, it sank down. Now, if you look in here, it's in there, it's not dropping down any further, but it's just some of that clear liquid evaporated, and I had to put more on. I probably should have went from the inside here, okay, and done it that way. I realize that now, but anyway, I am going to make this part 1, and I'm just going to let this sit overnight and get all dry, get good and hard, and then I'm going to come back, and I've got some sandpaper, I've got some nail files, I've got stuff to shape it up, and then I might try mixing some paint and trying to match this color. I'm pretty sure I can. I've done it before. So we'll let that go for tonight, okay? I want to let it dry all night. So tonight's going to be part 1. Okay, I'm going to put that down. Got a lot of stuff done tonight. But, and I want to say one thing about the Roofwalks and the federal regulations and all that. And this is one thing that more than one person brought up in the forums and on another website also. The railroad and the federal government, the relationship between them was very adversarial. Adversarial, I should say. Much more then than it is now. The railroads today, they comply more than the railroads a long time ago. And you know, I'm guessing that when that thing came about, somebody at the railroad said, you know what, we're not going to go and take off every walkway off of every boxcar. We will wait till it comes in for its scheduled maintenance, or if it's getting work for some other reason, and we'll do it. You know, just the way it was done. The way you have to do things. You can't do all that just because of one little rule. But that's it for tonight. And in part two, I will finish this up. I'll sand. This stuff is taking a long time to dry. And we will sand this. We'll finish it. I will match the paint. I'll match the paint. See you guys later. This is Ralph Greenwood for the Car Barn. See you guys later. Have a great night. Bye.